Hi, this is Rolf from Tesla Owners US, and today we're going to show you the Model 3. We're going to do a total walkthrough, everything what you need to know about the Model 3. And here is the guy who helps me with that. That's Ove.
Yes, hi, my name is Ove. I'm from Germany. I'm from TNT Tesla YouTube channel, and me and Rolf, we are friends, and we have a lot of fun with all the Model 3 stuff, and we show you how it all works.
All right.
I pressed and say, I went and say.
Cool, Rolf. This is a really nice car. We saw her driving here through the streets. So at the end of the day, what most people want to know, what is the consumption?
So the consumption was 278 watt hours per mile, and that's about a little bit more what Tesla will calculate. So I reverse calculated that. Tesla thinks it's 255 watt hours per mile. And when you reverse calculate that to the battery size, then the battery size must be about 80 kilowatt hours.
Oh wow, that's surprising.
That's surprising. And as you then there are the 2170 batteries in it, 21 millimeter circumference and 70 millimeter long. So that is actually the optimum size for the battery in lithium ion. They are all underneath of the car. A couple of thousand. I cannot tell you how much it is. Probably Tesla one day or another will publish that. And when I reverse calculate the mileage what they have given for the medium range or standard range package, then it will be about 60 kilowatt. And the interesting thing is here that they don't want to tell you now the kilowatt hours because the people here in America are let get a bit hung up on numbers. Then they said, oh, why should I buy a 75 Model S when I can get an 85 Model 3?
Yeah.
And then they don't spend the money for that, but they have all of the other convenience in the Model S what the Model 3 might not have. So that's why I said, hey, we just dropped the numbers, we give you the range, and that's what it is at the beginning, and we tell you how much it lose. But that's what otherwise people get too much hung up on the numbers, and then there's a hesitation in buying it or not buying it. And now they said, hey, we give you standard range, long range, and that's what you can buy.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, now I understand it. So what did you pay for this car?
So I paid for that car $51,000 without tax, and here in America you're only telling without tax, because sales tax is only an additional one. So you pay an additional state tax on cars, and then you pay additional county tax wherever you register in the car. If it's in Goodyear, in Phoenix, in Scottsdale, or wherever you register the car, you pay the additional tax there as well. And in total it would be about $55,000, including the transfer fee and so on. So we were happy that we could transfer that, and I didn't have to pay the tax in California.
Okay.
Because if I would have to pay the tax in California, it would be more expensive. But then I would also claim the California subsidize.
Okay.
Yes, it's California subsidized, and it would be probably $4,000 or $5,000.
Okay. So what most of you guys want to know is you have the premium option upgrade. What does that include?
It includes the sound system, including streaming through 3G. It includes the leather package or vegan leather package. Includes the Alcantara and their special dashboard here.
Oh yes, you can see on the door cards is an Alcantara inserts, and it looks really, really nice.
Yes. And yeah, and what I said, premium leather, probably a premium sound system also.
Oh yes, and this is amazing. This is not so easy to show you how great this sound system is, but we did a long trip with that car and really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the sound system is very nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Astonishingly for this type of car that you have such a good sound system.
Yeah, cool. Okay, thank you. So what, at the end of the day, everybody wants to know it. What is the range?
So the range is 310 miles, and we have proven the 310 miles. When we drove home, we almost never got, I mean, maybe one time we got under 50%.
To let you know, we pick up the car in Fremont, and we drove it from Fremont, California to Phoenix, Arizona.
Yeah, and we drove it all the way home, and there's always someone has to stop, and for that stop you always stop there where there's a charger for sure, and then you are plugging in first and you charge, and then you keep going. And one time I got a penalty when we made a break at the lunch break.
Oh really?
I got a penalty.
Well, how much?
The first penalty is waived. So the charger was filling up more than 50%. My car was still plugged in.
Yeah.
And as I thought, hey, I have to go back and unplug it. And then I said, oh, what the heck, there's nobody coming. And when we came back, you see, all chargers were almost full, right? Because there were 3 cars coming at the same time.
Yeah.
You were thinking that they belonged to the same company.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm guessing as well. But this made a penalty for me of 40 cents per, what is that? 40 cents per minute or something like that?
I don't know.
So I think it's 40 cents per minute.
Wow.
And the first penalty is waived, but it's kind of get a warning.
Okay.
That's the yellow card.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. You have anything you want to let us know here on this car in the moment?
No, not yet, but we go through the interior later. We're going to check it all out.
That's what we do right now. We do film now, the interior, the good and the bad. By the way, it's mostly very good.
And we go through the measurements for that one.
Yes.
It's not in metric, all in inches.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. So at this point we decided to take the cover off to look a little bit deeper to the battery and all the liquids. It seems here that the wheel from the other side is painted incomplete, but other manufacturers are doing it the same way. So when you go, this is the intake for the air, then you're coming to the 12-volt battery. This one is bigger, it's 48 amp hours. There is the liquid for the windshield wipers and for braking system. And then there is the disconnect, what is important for the fire department in order to turn the high voltage off in case of an emergency or an accident. They have to cut there. Just we want to show you that, and it should be easy for the fire department to find. So the next one we decided to take everything apart. So we put all of the stuff from the front aside. As you can see here, because we are very nosy and want to see into what's behind the front and going into the car. And you see the 12-volt battery here is still lead acid, and the other stuff is one of the steel parts where you are saying that's not all aluminium. That's true.
AC, this is a AC system. This is the coolant for the battery. Here you can see water pump. This is the steering, it's power steering. You can see the manufacturer also, it's Haller. This here on this side, you can see the ABS system. And here is a big radiator, right? With fans behind this. This is a fan. Yes, and you can see here the front from the Model 3. This is the latch. See around. And now we go a little bit deeper in it. So you can see where in the future is the front unit drive. See here?
There's plenty of room.
Plenty of room, isn't it? It's no problem to get a second engine in it and drive it as a dual drive. Right. So I hope this is interesting.
Yeah, we're happy to have it open. Now we have to put it back together. All right. for sure we couldn't miss the trunk, or what is in the side of the trunk there. It's a subwoofer and some system components. Interesting, most of the components. Also the big one there is aluminium. There are only really a few parts which are steel. And putting this together as well. Now we discussed everything about emergency, how to get, in case of a power outage, out of the car. So the regular button is known, but there's another level what you can pull, and then you can open the car. So what you might not have seen is that Chrysler claims that it will damage the window, and at that time, when you open that, there's use the emergency door release may cause damage to your window trim. So that's the disclaimer. What we didn't notice anything, but that's the disclaimer what Tesla would say. Then we practice another emergency situation, and that's the emergency situation how to get out of the car from the rear seats. Now there are probably two options for that one, but what we are thinking is the most common option might be when you're sitting in the rear seat that you are flapping over the rear seats itself on one side at least, and when you do that, then you can access the trunk space, and then you can crawl in the trunk space, use the emergency latch and open the trunk and then step out of the trunk. So that is one option. The other option is go through the front by climbing over the middle console and then stepping out the front seats.
So now we're going over in the interior a little bit. So what I really like is the leather, or the vegan leather, and also the Alcantara here on the sides. So that's very nice. And we just looked at also at the headliner. And for the headliner, I am not the fan of the beige or white headliner. I was never a fan for that. Even the first Model S was a black headliner in my car. So, and what we also noticed that is, you know, for me that looks more like so I'm more a fan of, hey, just put a nice vinyl on that leather or Alcantara. That might be a little bit more expensive. When you also go down the headliner here on the window, then you see there's a little bit of a unevenness, and you see there is a bend over here. That's the same happening on the other side. You can actually press that in. When you go to the other side, it's happening here as well. There's an unevenness. I will go to the service center and ask them if they can do anything about it. What we also saw was when you go to the back, on one side it's good, but on the other side you see there's a little gap here showing up here.
Better.
It's getting better now. I pressed it a little bit in.
Okay.
So, but there was a little gap here, and that's maybe I had to press it in. That was it. And there's the main important thing is our, what I call it now, is the who is putting the railroad tile in my car, because that piece of wood looks like a railroad tile, and the better solution would be to put it in just piano black and high gloss piano black. That's good. Not for Arizona, because there's a reflection on that with the sun. What I would rather do, in order to come with the line of the car, to go through here and then continue that line with the Alcantara here on top of the car there. And that's what I'm gonna change. And in the next one, you will see that we're gonna change that. In the next movies what we show, the next videos what we show, we're gonna change that, and it will be looking much nicer. I'm not the guys complaining about that. If I don't like it, I'm gonna change it. That's how it is. Okay, so now we go through the main functions for that one. And you see the car is currently on parking. Actually, here is also the speed. If you have it in drive, shows D, or if it in reverse, shows reverse or N neutral. And then you can also go, that's currently on the windshield wipers. That was off, we put it on auto. You can put it on as well. And in this case, we keep it on auto. Then you swipe here. That is since the last charge, how much miles you have driven and how much you have consumed. and that's since the beginning on trip A, trip B, and so on. That is the standard function what you already had. And here's the full mileage what your car has driven so far. So for the navigation system, it's usually based on your use the button on the steering wheel, and then you are speaking into the navigation system. Here's your controls for the tire pressure in PSI. That is actually US measurements. And then here's the navigation system, what you can activate here as well. So in this one, it does not understand me. Probably too much of an accent.
It does.
So, and when you see the navigation, you can also type in the navigation or what you want to type in there. Everything works for you. There is the board coming in there, the keyboard, and that the number pad is on the side. That was different because the number pad was on the Model S is all cross on the top there. So then here's open the trunk, open the trunk, open the charge port. From here was the back camera. It's a very nice camera. We said that before. It's super crisp. It's a fisheye angle, and you will see very nice. The same lines are showing up here also when you back up. Then, yeah, oh, that's the seat heating. Shows up here as well. And you currently have that on hold. And now it's back on parking. So when you close the camera here again. So here you see the charging for that one. You can set the limits of the charging like you usually do. Actually, those arrows are missing here. For the Model S there and Model X, there are arrows for that. Here is the maximum of charge, 48 amp by 240 volt. These are about 11 kilowatt. It seems to be less, and I was a little bit disappointed originally because I'm charging with 70 and 72 and 80 kilowatt at my Model S and Model X's. But you also have to see that you are not consuming that much. So you have an advantage as the superchargers, because there you are pumping 100 or 120 kilowatt and you are charging in faster and you're consuming lesser. So there's an advantage. Here you can schedule the charging time for that one, and here you can see how much of supercharging you already have paid. And you do get penalties for that as well. We talked about that. So closing this area, then that's the typical navigation, zoom in, zoom out, north or not north, and then you can change it here to the direction. So when you can drive up or in the direction where you're driving, where you are, here you can turn the map on into map how it is really, and then here, satellite LED, and then here you can activate traffic for that one as well. Here are some settings about the route planner. It's on 10 minutes by standard, and then you can show always at a round trip for that one. That's actually the same like the trip planner and online routing. That's the same like also on the Model S as well. So charging we already had, speaking we already had, and we had the back camera. Now the typical things on the car itself, the quick controls come showing up first. The fog lights, the adjusting the mirrors. I think many people talked about that already. So mirrors tilting, mirrors folding, and also the adjustment of the mirrors are just from the steering wheel, from those two knobs at the steering wheel. Actually, the wheels there, you can up and down. And the same is for the same is for the steering wheel to adjust up and down and front and back. So folding, that's for the mirrors folding, and window lock is for locking the windows, probably the back windows for lock. The display is on brightness automatically, and here there's no glove box bottom anymore. There's a glove box bottom here, which opens the glove box here. The only thing where there's a physical button, as you know, US law, you need to have a physical button for the emergency. And then you can see also here in the back there is the camera. It's probably for future use. There was one thing what I was missing while I'm driving, and I have to say that is when you turn cruise control on, you pat it down one time and cruise control sets, and then you can adjust cruise control by mileage plus and minus, what you usually could do with a level. Here as well, you can deactivate that by pushing it one level up, then you deactivate that cruise control, but you cannot resume. And what I'm thinking is maybe they do that for us in the future. They can resume or put one up and down with those pedals, because these ones are currently not being in use. The left and right on this side, the left and right on this side. You should be able to plus 1 mile, minus 1 mile on this one, or resume on the other one. That should be possible as well. So probably in future releases of the software, there's more functionality coming. Lights is normal, auto light, fog lights. That's probably that's the rear fog light, right?
Front.
So, front fog light. So then you have the dome lights is on auto, ambient lights is the little lights here on the side, the door panels. Locks is standard, walk away, walk up on unlock, walk away lock, child protection for the back, and then unlock on park. That's when you press the park button, then the doors are open. For the display, it's on auto. It switches between night and day display, the brightness. Clean safe mode, the same thing. The whole screen turns black, and then you press it on 3 seconds. That's what we do when we bring it to the car wash. Miles and kilometers, or Fahrenheit and Celsius, that's normal. And always what you have to watch also here, there's that little button. Here you can also change more settings. So before it was in the Model S, it's been splitted. There where you have the standard settings and then you have the controls. Here are the controls with the settings. So if you go on locks, there's no settings. If you go on lights, here's some setting. You press on that and there are headlights after exit or steering wheel lights. So there you can have additional settings. For driving, we know that as well. Comfort, standard and sport. I have it always on sport. Regenerative braking, I keep it on standard, never change it. Track control, slip start, that's actually for areas where there is slippery roads or bad road conditions, snows, ice and so on. Creep mode, it's when the car moves a little bit forward, like in automatic. I never have that on. I didn't like it even for my Roadster in the beginning. Autopilot goes up to 20 miles more. Actually, the one guy told me that he had it one time set to this one absolutely, I think it was 90. So I'm not going to do that. So he has only been alarmed when he's driving over 90 miles. So I have it always relatively, and I put it on 10 miles more. So front warning collision, actually I get the warning, medium or early. You get the front warning collision only up to 50 miles. When you're over 50 miles, and we tried that on the highway, went very close to a truck in front of us. Our ladies got already scared about this. So, and we really, it only does it up to 50 miles. Lane departure warning is if you do a lane change and someone is next to you. It warns you about that. Automatic emergency braking. This is the automatic emergency braking. It also does it up to 50 miles per hour. Good. Safety and security. It is cars in park, power off mode. We know that, and that's for servicing. Adjust the headlights. That's new. It's not available in the Model S. You can adjust the headlights the same way you can adjust your mirrors or your steering wheel. The same way you can adjust it. And then there's a special towing mode. Actually, the car puts on towing, probably puts it on neutral, so that you can see there what happens in towing mode. You actually always have to put the car on a flatbed if you tow the car. Cannot regularly tow it like a combustion engine car. Okay, that's all about stuff on service. Then you have here something about what is that? Cooling and heating, right? Cooling and heating for the front window. Front window. Then you have the back window.
Defog.
Yes, and then you have also here seat heating, only front seat heating, and that is driver side and passenger side. Here's the air conditioning. Normal settings, currently on manual. AC on. And then you can also control here the drivers in the back. So did you have that?
Do you have drivers in the back?
No, sorry.
I'm surprised.
No, sorry. No, you can call the passengers in the back, and then if they should get air or not air, and so on. We did that also before. Cool thing is, like probably most of them mentioned already, is you can control your airflow.
So, and the airflow is being controlled just only through those little slits here on the sides, and it coming through that one, and you can control it in 2 directions by just moving the finger on the screen, or you can merge it all together. Then you can move it up and down, left and right. Oh, that's a nice feature. All of those additional plastic what's around your car, the up and down, that's the things what breaks the first when the car goes older, right? So that's all not there anymore. Cool. Next one is your music entertainment system, also cool. It is coming up here, and then you can all the way slide it up, and you can change it to streaming, tune in, phone, or what you ever have there, and you can slide it down again. I think that's a cool feature to have that very well managed. With your guys there, probably have to cut that out. And then is here your entertainment system, or what you can also turn on here. Okay, cool, we have it. Alright, that was the quick review of the screen and all of the functions, and stay tuned for more updates. And just as a comparison, you see all 3 models together, and you see the difference in size, height, length, so you can get yourself a picture about how it looked like when you have all 3 models in one view, Model X, Model 3, Model S. And we do a walk around, and you can see how size-wise the difference is between all 3 models. Enjoy the view.
Okay, here's the app now, and then you see your own car, and you see the phone key. That's already been maintained with your key card. So what you have to do there is the phone key originally is not being maintained with your phone, so it's your account where you're logged in. So you take the key card and put that to the middle console. There's a step-by-step instruction for that, and then the key card is being the signal is being synced to your phone, and then you know that the car knows that this phone is accessible or eligible to operate the car. It does not operate the car if you switch between cars. So if you have the Model X on and then you try to go to your car, you can't. You cannot open your car. It's not being activated. You got to switch back to your to your car, to your Model 3. Climate is the same. You know that with the Model S, I can control the climate with that. And the controls, there's something different here on the controls, is you can now open here the front trunk and the back trunk here as well under the controls, and valet mode, you know that as well. Start, honk and flash is the same. And charging is the same, maintain charging, and also the location is the same like in the Model S or Model X. Yeah, that's all from this one.
I pressed and say